Morning. So today I'm kind of excited because I get to finally talk about this new product that has been kind of in development almost a full year, but really the past 6 months. So the name of this product, just so you know, is called Green Shocker. Green Shocker is the name of this product. There is a website up with a little bit of information. It's kind of incomplete. We're still doing final testing on this product, but I wanted to share with you guys. It's kind of cool to see how a product like this develops, and I thought I'd walk you along with it. So hold on. Hey guys, so you're going to have to stick with me a little bit because I got to break down some technical information and help you to understand the concept of Green Shocker, because it's not just another fertilizer. It's actually more of a concept that you need to understand. It's a way of thinking that we're doing with this product. So what's different about this fertilizer than other fertilizers? I'll go over some very specifics, but number one, particle size. It has roughly a 75 SGN. What does that mean? It means it's basically 3/4 of a millimeter. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. Looks like it's actually, some of the particles are smaller than salt. So it's a very tiny particle size. What benefit is that? Particles per square inch. When you get down that small, well, when you use normal fertilizers, you may get 1 particle per square inch. You've seen those particles, the big chunks, and they go and spread in your lawn. This stuff, you may get 20 to 50 particles for every square inch of lawn that you have. So that means you're feeding every single blade of grass on your lawn, number one. Number two, it's made using Anderson's DG particle formulation. What does that mean? Dispersible granule. So as soon as water touches this stuff, it breaks apart into sub breaks down into thousands of particles, subparticles that are tiny, that get right into your thatch and right into your lawn. Again, instant release. I'll show you here in 1 second. I'll put some in water and I'll show you how quickly this breaks down. It's 60 seconds for this stuff to break down and get into your thatch and start to get into your soil. There's no slow release in this, and this is where you have to change your thought process. You're gonna have to think differently. 99% of the consumer fertilizers out there on the market for the lawns are gonna be slow release fertilizers. And what does that mean? That means you put down X amount of fertilizer per pounds of nutrients, and that's gonna feed your lawn for the next 6 to 8 weeks. You put it down, you walk away. There are times where I just want a little bit more punch, but I don't want to put down another round of slow release fertilizer. Does that make sense? So there are a lot of like spray supplement products that we're going to put down on our lawn. And there are some really good spray supplement products down there, but a lot of them can take time and it's time consuming. This, I can do my whole lawn, which is close to half an acre. I can do it in 20 minutes. So I can make my coffee, go out, put it out in the morning, turn on my irrigation system and walk away and I'm done. It's that quick. So it's really quick to apply. Let me give you an example. You've had a whole bunch of rain, your lawn's looking weak, maybe you want to punch it up a bit. Maybe you just did a scalp or core aeration. You want to punch it with a little bit more nutrients. Let's say you have a party at your house next week and your lawn's looking a little bit, you want to make it darker green. Good time to use it. Here are 2 critical times for this. In the springtime, you know you've got 2 weeks of warm weather moving in. Putting down a slow release fertilizer, you're not going to get those nutrients for a while. This is a great time. You can put down a light coat of your slow release and then put down a coat of this on top of it, knowing that all the nutrients are going to immediately, within 24 hours, reach that lawn. In the fall, for a warm season, guys, when we know that cooler temperatures are coming in, we don't want to apply a slow release fertilizer. So that's when we can apply this Green Shocker, because we know it's just going to go in and I can spoon feed, important term, I can spoon feed my lawn every week or every 2 weeks with a light coat of this Green Shocker and sort of keep it nice and healthy. But when the cold weather starts to move in, I can shut it off. I'm done. It's all done. It's just a really cool conceptual product and it fills a need. Now, this product also sort of stemmed from the success we've had with PGF Balance. PGF Balance is an all fast release 10-10-10 for people with low phosphorus. Now that's not a DG particle, so it's not as fast working as this, but that same sort of concept came into play. It works so well. So now let me quickly break down what the actual nutrients are in this. It is a 7:1:2 ratio. So it's a 7-1-2, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. It also has iron and it has humic acid. That's that formulation that we want to concentrate on. If we wanted a quick green punch to the lawn, if we wanted something to stimulate, to make it darker and greener, and to make a little bit of a growth surge and thicken it up, that's the perfect ratio to apply to any type of lawn, just about. So whether it's warm season or cool season, this can be used. Now I want to stress, for you cool season guys, there are times, as an example, you're consistently told not to put down fertilizer in the summertime. Well, let's say you got a week and you look at the week and the temperatures are going to drop and you got a bunch of rain moving in. Might not be a bad time, since it's not slow release. You can actually go out, put a light coat of this on the lawn and have a small nutrient burst when you know, again, it's about timing. Timing is so critical. Here's the thing. This gives you, the turf manager, complete control of when your nutrients actually go into your lawn. Unlike a slow release fertilizer that once you put it down, that's it. You're committed for 6 to 8 weeks. That's what I really like about this product. I'm going to go down, and a good example is golf greens. This is the exact same type product that all the professional golf course superintendents and managers use on their green, because it's instant, it's fast release, it's fairly mild, and it doesn't interrupt play. So as soon as they put it down, they water it in, it goes right into the soil, and it mildly feeds that green and darkens it up. This is a fantastic product. It hides in your thatch. As soon as you put it down and wet it, it disappears in your thatch. It feeds very quickly. It is not strong. It is a very mild treatment. And I'll just run you through. Probably the next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and throw some into water so you can see it have action. And if you're wondering, it will be available a little bit earlier than we thought. So we think you guys will be able to order some experimentational bags around September 1st. This first year is not set in stone, so I think they're going to do smaller, like 16 or 18 pound bags only. There's only going to be a limited run. There may be only about 1,000 or 2,000 of these bags, and they'll probably sell out in probably 2 or 3 days. But what I wanted you guys to be able to test this fall and play with it, because it's kind of cool. So today I'll actually walk you around. I'll show you some of the testing spots that I've done. I'm going to put some on the green back here. Just walk you around and show you a bunch of different stuff. Hold on. Okay, so once again, I'm in the corner trying to find some shade. I'm going to go down here on the carpet, and I'm just going to set up another camera, and I'm going to put some of these particles into water. I'm just going to let them sit there for about 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then I'll show you what actually happens after that time. Maybe I'll compress it. I'll let it sit there for 60 seconds. I'll compress it, and then I'll put it up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of this green shocker, and I'm actually going to sprinkle it in here into water. You can see just how fine those particles are, but what I want you to watch is I want you to watch just how quickly this stuff breaks down. Now I'm just going to let the camera roll. Oh, we'll just let it sit there for about a minute, and then I'm going to come and show you what it looks like. Okay, that's been just about a minute, and you can see what happens. It basically just dissolves. There's no more particles left after 60 seconds. It's all going down into your soil at this point. Hey guys, so I figured I'd just go ahead and record this just to give you an example. This green is almost exactly 500 square feet. So at a rate of 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet, that means I would put out 1.5 pounds on this green. There's 1.5 pounds. What's interesting about this is if the coverage rate on this, if this was large particles, I might get a particle every 2, 3, or 4, or 5 inches. With this stuff, you'll see I get particles. I can get a couple of particles at least every square inch. So I'm just going to dump it in. I actually went over to Barb's. My spreader's at the beach, and Barb had one of these, so I borrowed it from her. So I'm just going to put it in here, just to give you an example. And that's the amount of fertilizer for 500 square feet. So all I'm going to do, I've got it on setting number 2 here. I'm just going to turn this camera on too so you can see it up close. And I'll just go around, I'll apply it, and then I'll water it in, and so you can see it. So let's take a look. I don't know if we'll be able to see any or not. It's so tiny. Okay. So I can see probably right near my finger, I mean, within a square inch, I can see probably 10 particles here. Same thing, everywhere I go, I'm getting about 10 particles per square inch. 5 to 10, every single inch. Isn't that cool? So I do have irrigation back here, but I'll probably just come spray with a hose so my camera doesn't get wet. I've given you this tip before, but let me give you this one more time. So you saw me drop the particles inside the water. They basically disintegrated after 60 seconds. So a good time to actually apply this is in the early morning when there's dew on the grass. Let me explain what I mean. When you apply this on a dew-covered lawn, the particles will actually stick to the blades of grass and you'll see droplets form around them. So I go through my whole lawn and I apply this, and all the particles are sitting on that dew-covered grass, and what's happening? They're breaking apart, they're getting wet. So then what you can do is, after you get done doing that, is go inside and turn on your irrigation or however you're going to wet it, and they've already broken down and they immediately, I mean instantly, go into your lawn. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm going to wet this lightly, I'm going to wait a minute or so, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to spray it again. So this is the same area we were before, and you can see, let me get in close again, you can see I almost see none of these black particles around. Maybe a trace of them right there. Isn't that cool? Oof, morning. So I applied Green Shocker to the green yesterday. And what I want to do now is I want to try and answer some questions that I think will come up from you guys. So let's talk about the application rate. Remember, this is a very mild fertilizer. We're testing it at 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet based on a mild stimulated response. That's what we're testing at. I'll let you know in a bit on that. How quickly do I see a response? It's going to vary. Number one, the instructions, if you read the instructions, as soon as you apply this, you actually water it in, and then you water every 12 hours for the next 2 days, unless you have a rain event. So you want to water it in, water it in, water it in. So the majority of this nutrient uptake is going to be via the root system. So you've got to get this down towards the roots. You will not see a stimulated response unless you water it in and get it down to the roots. We are seeing typically within 72 hours is where we start to see that green up, and usually within 4 to 5 days you'll start to see this dark green start to appear and this growth surge start to appear, and it almost thickens up. It's a thickening, darkening of the lawn. Like I said, usually within that 3 to 5 day window is when you'll start to see that. Spreader settings. With this product, almost all your spreaders, now I know spreaders have numbers, and I was actually talking to Andersons about this. They're working on spreader settings for it, and I said, you know what, with this type of product, because it's a greens grade fertilizer, that's an important term, greens grade fertilizer, it's extremely tiny. It's one of the reasons why a lot of companies don't make this, because sometimes that tiny fertilizer can be hard to apply, because you have to get your slot size at about 1/8 of an inch on most of your spreaders. Remember, it's best to have to go back and do a second coat of this rather than to over apply it, because we just want a mild stimulation. That's all we want from it. The other thing that's important is the length of your grass. I've learned that if I come out to a green and I water it in and my grass is only, you know, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch long, I will see a stimulated color change and response quicker than if I put it on grass that's 2 inches. So if you have like a tall fescue, you know, that's 3 inches tall or so, it may take a little bit longer to see that response. I have noticed that the shorter the grass, if I do everything the same, the shorter the grass, the quicker the response. The other question is, can I use it in conjunction with other fertilizers? Yes. Because other fertilizers are slow release, you can actually put this over a slow release fertilizer. It's mild, but if you're, let's say you put down fertilizer 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's the summertime and you're concerned that if you put down more you might burn your lawn. Well, this again is very mild, and let's say you have some rain coming in. You look at the weather forecast, in the next few days you got a bunch of rain moving in. You can actually apply this and it'll sort of give you a little boost that you might need. Let's talk about runoff. I've talked about this before on runoff, in that soil saturation is the cause of runoff. So as rain starts to fall, especially with clay soils, your soil starts to get saturated. And once it starts to get saturated, nothing can move in there. Well, if you have a slow release fertilizer sitting on your lawn, it's still melting, let's call it. And where's it going? It's actually running off or pooling in different areas. Well, here's the difference with this. Because this is all fast release, if you put this onto a dry lawn before a rain event, what's going to happen? Well, as soon as the rain starts to hit this, the first 20 minutes of rain, what's going to happen? It's going to start to dissolve and go immediately into the soil before you reach your saturation levels. Does that make sense? So at some point, your soil hits a saturation level where nutrients or whatever's on top can't go in, and it starts to run off. Because this is so quick to release, you have almost zero runoff because it goes right into the soil immediately. The other nice thing about this is no movement from lawnmowers, and that's why a lot of times golf courses like small particle size, is they don't want the mowers to actually move the fertilizer. And that can happen with larger fertilizer particles, and you've probably seen that. So once this hits the grass and you water it in, it's hidden in your thatch layer. So after you get it 2 water cycles, you can go back and cut your grass. It's not a problem because it's in and it's been delivered. So again, no mower movement. What's the difference between this and something like a super juice? A lot of people are going to ask that, or a spray supplement. For me, I just think it's time. It's so easy. First thing in the morning, before you go to work, you can actually wake up 15 minutes early, throw some of this in your spreader, go out while there's a dew on your lawn, put it on, come back inside, run your irrigation, and finish your coffee, and you're done. That's how quick this is. It literally is. And actually, someone said, I don't believe you can do a whole half lawn in 15 minutes. We actually came out here and timed it. I did it on our growth regulator. You can actually, I did my lawn, it was like 15 or 20 minutes for the whole lawn. So it's quick. It doesn't take a whole long time. There isn't a lot of setup. You don't have to drag hoses around. You don't have to mix stuff. If you have the time to do your spray supplement, that's fine. But this is something that I like because it's just so quick. I can just come out, put it out, and I'm done. Can I use this on new seed and new sod? The answer is yes. Again, if you put out a slow release fertilizer, it's going to take a long time for those nutrients to reach down. So what you can do is, if you have new seed or new sod, you can actually come out with a light coat of this and put it on. Again, we're not committing to a long-term feeding, we're actually spoon feeding. So if you have new sod, you can come out and apply a light coat of this and come back maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, come out, hit it again with a light coat. It's very mild, it's very gentle if you put it out at the right application rate. It's not strong and it's not long-term. The other thing that happens is we get caught sometimes with our nutrients, we get caught in the drought trap. And what is the drought trap? The drought trap is everything's going fine. I'm getting rain, no problem. I put down my fertilizers. The fertilizers are starting to go in, and all of a sudden I hit a drought. Well, those nutrients are in the lawn, and when you don't want them there. So again, the total control of this product, the ability to go in and shoot in a certain window, is just wonderful to be able to do this. And that's what we loved about the PGF Balance, is we look for those windows when we want to go in and shoot it in. So anyways, guys, like I said, I'm hoping for next year when this product officially launches, I'm assuming we'll probably it'll come out in like 30-pound bags, but for this year, they're just doing a very small run, and it's going to be like in 16-pound bags or something, because it's actually 16 pounds is actually a lot. At the guesstimated feed rate that we're doing application rate that we're doing right now is about 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So that'll feed about 5,000 square feet. If you want to get some, make sure you get some of this. Here's what I'll do for you guys. If you're on our email list, so in the description below, I always link to our webpage, and on that webpage, I put a link to our email list. So if you sign up for the email list, when it hits Amazon, I'll shoot out an email to that list so you guys can actually be first to try and get it, so you know it's going to be available. And I'll probably do a video. I do have application videos and testing videos that we're going to put out with this over the next couple days. I'll show you some of the results of what we're doing, but this video would be 2 hours long if I did all that. So anyways, that's about it. Hope you want to play with this. It's kind of fun. It really is a cool little product. I'll talk to you later. Doc.